Hey Zinies, welcome to week 3. Glad you're still sticking it out here with me. This week we are going to dive deep into Photoshop. I know the last week, week 2, you've been doing some tutorials and you've been looking at Photoshop, but that's just sort of been an overview. This week we're starting to get down and dirty into Photoshop, and we're going to be looking at selections and transformations. Now in this week's lessons with selections and transformations, I am not going to be the video instructor. Instead, it's going to be Professor Brian Boskill. He is my cohort here in the graphic design program. He's a full-time faculty, he's been here for a while, and most importantly, he is an industry professional, one of the best Photoshoppers around. You are really going to enjoy him in these videos, especially because he's a little bit goofy. But that's cool, you're gonna love it. So enjoy the time you have with Professor Brian Boskill. You're not just going to see him this week, but you're going to see him in some other weeks as well. One thing I want to make sure that you understand with this week's videos is as you're watching them, you're going to be going through a lot of information. Try to remember what the goal of the tool or the technique is, because when you're later on doing assignments, it might be a little bit difficult for you to recall exactly how to do something. So what you're going to have to do is refer back to the videos. But in order to refer back to the videos, you need to know conceptually, or you need to understand what the goal was of that tool or technique. In other words, I'm trying to tell you, just don't try to memorize steps. Think about what it is you want to happen, and then you can figure out what the steps are, even if you have to research back at the videos. And that brings me to another thing that should help you. Take notes in your sketchbook. In the assignments, not in the assignments, but in the lessons, you're going to see at the bottom of the page of every lesson, topics covered. That lists the basic things that are going to be covered in that video. So in taking notes, I recommend that at a very minimum, you open your sketchbook. At the top of that page, you you write in whatever the lesson is, and then you copy down those topics into your sketchbook. While you watch the videos, you're going to be having Photoshop open, following along, watching the videos, sketchbook open, pause the video, take notes. That's how you should be working. If you have those topics already listed for each lesson, what you can do is when that topic is covered, note the time on the video, like maybe it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds into it, note 2:30 on that topic, right next to that topic in your sketchbook. The reason you do that is because later on when you're doing the assignments and you didn't remember everything, you know what it is you wanted to do, you open up your sketchbook, you look at the topic, you find that topic, you notice what video it is and actually when it starts, and you can go right to it. Makes it so much easier, you spend so much less time trying to find the information you need to complete the assignment. I strongly recommend you do that, but hey, if you have a photographic memory and you can do it without that sort of thing, go right ahead. And remember that I'm here to help anytime you have a problem. I would recommend that you post it on the discussion board, because if you post it on the discussion board, other students can see it, and no doubt they have the same sort of problem, at least many of them do, and the answer that I provide, or maybe even another student provides, can help them as well. Oh, I almost forgot. There is one other thing I want to mention that's really important. You are going to be working in the Select and Mask workspace. Now that's several lessons down, but once you get to the Select and Mask workspace, you want to begin to develop the skill to really utilize the select and mask workspace. Now, I know you don't maybe understand what that's all about right now. When you get to the lesson, you will. But once you work with the select and mask workspace, that is going to be your go-to workspace to create selections that look realistic, because that is key to good Photoshop work. Good Photoshop work, good composites are not recognized as Photoshop work. In other words, if you do a really good Photoshop job, somebody's going to look at that image that you created and not think it's Photoshopped. And the way to do that, at least one of the ways to do that, is make good selections. And the Select and Mask workspace is the area that gives you all the tools to really tighten up, define, and make these good selections. So even though it might be a little bit difficult to learn in the beginning, stick with it, keep using it. This is going to benefit you and actually even be required throughout the rest of the course. That's all I have for you this week. Let me know again if you have any questions or problems, and I'll see you soon.